Good morning. Good morning, Potato. I see your ad. Good morning, Gamly. Enjoying your popcorn once again. I'm gonna start binging entire bags of popcorn again. I ate the rest of my loose popcorn that's in the the bottles. So much popcorn. Good morning, Keita. Thank you once again. Congratulations. Also, good morning, Luna, and good morning, Keita. Did I say that? I ate wonderful baked potatoes today. Potato. 200 million 3D live concert celebration. Are you tired? That sounds delicious. Also, AX. I don't have money for AX. Also, I forgot that this weekend was AX. No wonder why there's been so much my friends have been in the group chats, in the group discords, talking about some event. So that's an AX. I see. Mash some baked potatoes in the walls? Damn. I really liked baked potatoes, so I ate them all. In the group chats. Are you also getting AX news in the group chats, Keita? I am. I'm a lurker in all ways. I am socially inept at best. Don't know what AX is. Live in the 3D world, third world country. I read that as a 3D world country. I was like, oh, Keita, I didn't know. I thought you were a doodle. I thought you lived in a 2D world. Mario is also 2D. I thought you lived on a post-it note, Keita. My immersion is breaking. A 2D creature in a 3D world? Okay. Do I know who's 3D? Are you? Nobody is 3D in my eyes. Beast Wars? Huh? Is that like the really old Yu-Gi-Oh? Is Yu-Gi-Oh in 3D? Optimus Primal? Oh dear. What are you guys on about? Okay. Look up. Okay, fine. I'll look up Yu-Gi-Oh 5DS. Yu-Gi-Oh 5DS. That's the biking one. I know the bike one, where they do bike races and they duel at the same time, right? I think I only saw one clip of this. Monkey Optimus. It's the third anime series? Why is it not the fifth? It has 5 in it. Should I watch this one? Is this one the one to watch? Don't watch anime Yu-Gi-Oh? Should I be reading the manga? Is that why? Are you a manga purist, Keita? There's no Pegasus saying Yugi boy. So I should be watching the English dub of only the arc with Pegasus in it. No, I just hate Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, I see. Alright. That's only after I watch the Madoka movies, right? Watch Vanguard, it's worse. Ghost Stories is prime examples. I don't know if I want to watch. Maybe I should be watching Madoka. How many minutes am I in? I'm in negative minutes, Luna. I'm in negative minutes. You deleted. Yes, I deleted parts of the movie. The right to drink. Oh, really? Street for fraud? What are these strange threats that I'm getting for not watching Madoka? I kind of watched the original anime series when it came out, you know, and everybody was into who's the director? Did he also direct like Psycho-Pass or something? Hey Keita, you should watch Psycho-Pass. Look, man, I'm trying to I need a stream. Here, where are you? Where are you, Keita? I don't know how to work Discord. How do I do Discord? Oh, good morning, Ikaru. Wow, 6-7 today? Is today a 6-7 day? Not director, but writer. Oh, sorry, writer. I don't know. Deep romantic feelings between female characters. The original series relies on heavy subtext. The films and spin-offs explicitly confirm queer I wonder if that's like... I wonder if that was a restriction due to like the TV series and like the network that it was being shown on or something. Will this encourage you to watch Dokes? I don't know, man. I think... What is the reason why I'm not like super into Madoka? There's no real reason. I just didn't really get into the characters, I think. It's not really. Studio and director are the same as Monogatari series. I thought that was Ufotable. But writer is Psycho-Pass and Fate Zero. What else? I did also watch Fate Zero. Okay, the thing is, when all of those series came out, that writer, I think, who is he? They nicknamed him like Butcher or something because everybody dies in his in his animes. Like everybody, all of my entire friend group was into his work, so I watched them all. I only really got into Psycho-Pass. I really like Psycho-Pass. That one was fun. Not into season 2 though. Only season 1. How much did I spend? I spent like $60. You kind of so not too bad. I basically I went through them and I was just like, what is somewhat affordable and I can play? They were kind of short. Some of them I'm debating whether or not I should stream some of them, or some of them I should just play by myself. No wonder why they all died. Yes, whatever he writes, expect character death. He really loves death. He really loves death. He really loves the psychological horror type things. Like he loves that stuff. Psychopaths had 3 seasons? Wait, what the fuck is season 3? I didn't hear about season 3. I watched the movie, which is fucking hilarious because the ghost of I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm ruining the movie, but it's not important. I really like Makishima. He fucking put his ghost in that movie. It's fucking hilarious. It is nice to have games I can just relax in. I mean, it's not like I'm stressed when playing when I'm streaming, right? And playing games. It's nice to have like sometimes gaming with like just like quiet time when I'm not yapping. Oh. I should put my Makishima phone charm back on my phone. There's a funny here that we made. Unfortunately, I do not understand your. I will not understand your jokes. You're welcome to make it. It will be archived on YouTube if you care. Keita. Stress is an offhand for somebody who's gone crazy out of stress? That's funny. Or is crazy. I see. That's how you feel. Wait, what's the punchline of your joke, Luna? Do you know what to call a guy who has his ID stolen if he's called David? What do you mean, look at me? I'm literally a 2D thing! I barely moved because this was like the only thing that I've ever like, well, not ever. It was the first and the way that I learned how to use not live 2D. Yes, live 2D. I'm barely rigged. I can't be crazy. I'm very well controlled in my rigging, okay? I specifically rigged myself so that I'm not crazy. Back in the day when I rigged this character, without all the it wasn't with all the fancy tutorials, like VBridger didn't exist. VTube Studio was new. The reason why my rigging is weird is because I rigged this to be on a different program. I'm held back by technological restraints. I do sometimes wonder how crazy I would look if I was using like if I was a real life streamer instead of a VTuber. If I got a professional to rig my model and I use like VBridger and I had like an iPhone for like the perfect like capturing experience. Goblin in the walls. Maybe you would get some of that. I will try my best to rig nicely in my 2.0, okay? I don't know if I'll make it for August, like I said. I'm so behind in my con prep, you guys. I don't I'm struggling. Struggling in procrastination. All right, okay. That's enough preamble. Keita, if you need to leave because you want to play this game in the future, you're welcome to lurk. As always. Thank you for bringing the party here with you. And hope you rest well so that I can watch you stream Friday nights too, so that I'm not streaming. People here like PC towers. Have you tried not sleeping? It allows for more procrastination time. In fact, I have tried not sleeping. I ended up being on my phone until 5 a.m. and then I procrastinate more. Just don't turn off, yeah. I'm actually one of those weird people who turn off their PC every day. I've heard that's not good. It's not. I've heard people say it's not good for your PC, but I turn like my PC is on like a power bar, so I just turn that off every night. I can't stand my PC being on. Especially since I had a friend build my new PC like recently. It has all the fancy lights that don't turn off. I can't sleep. Even more so than I can't sleep right now. All right. We have to start. It's been like 15 minutes of just chatting. We have to save a leprechaun. All right. All right. You have a very good Vanis, Keita. Have a very good night whenever you sleep. And we shall continue our defense. Oh, we are off to... What the fuck were we doing? We have to listen to this thief girl talk about what she saw when she may have been on the bus. There's conflicting evidence of whether or not this lady was on the bus, because the bus driver and the prosecution says that there wasn't room underneath the seat, but these two say that she was underneath the seat. Okay, let's see what she says. Oh my god, so too much chatting. Too much chatting is bringing out my cough. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses. They hooked up the horses like always. Oh, I should be pressing. I should be pressing. Wait. Go back. Hold it. So, you were already in the omnibus before it even set off on its run. Well, yeah. I mean, what's the point of spending a joey to make a few bobs, eh? That's a rum's idea, ain't it? Sorry, not ain't it, but in it. Oh god, there's too much slang. I suppose she means there's no point spending money to make money. It actually makes sense. Counsel, may I remind you that this girl is a petty thief. Kindly refrain from entertaining her tenants. Well, that does clear up the little mystery of the fares and all. 4 paying passengers at 5 pence apiece, making 20 at which the cabsman testified. And 1 little scapegoat riding for free. The red conch of a driver always goes for some grub after his last run, you see. So, that's when I slipped into the carriage and to get myself hidden under the seat. Nice and easy, right? But your hiding place is a storage compartment. Full of equipment for the coach, no? Yeah. There's brushes and buckets and whatnot in there, sure. I always chuck all that out and cram it in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. And yet, according to the report filed by the police officer who arrived at the scene, the compartment was full of such paraphernalia. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Like I said, I moved all the stuff in so I could hide under the seat. That's all I can tell you. It seems we've reached the end of that inquiry. Continue. What's the difference between inquiry and enquiry? But it was right old waste of time. I saw nothing to show for me troubles that night.
Hold it!
A waste of time? Why is that? Well, most nights I'm on me own in the God permit at least some of the time. I beg your pardon. Did you say God permit? Oh yeah. Well, that's what McKine called it. You'd say the omnibus, I suppose. The point is, any normal run, the carriage ain't got no one in it for a while. And that's when you come out of your hiding place and get away. That's it. Only that night. This cove was sat in me seat from the start. And he didn't budge the whole way, did he? Not 1 inch. I was totally stuck. Do you mean to tell me that you were present in the carriage for the duration? You were under the seat the entire time, while events unfolded in the enclosed cabin? Yeah. Right, mister? To be sure. I was as shocked as anyone. You don't expect to lift the cushion and you've been sat on and find a child now, do you? So this Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit then. I tell you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion and with my head out. Sorry, with my head and look out the crack. Holy crap, this accent. Then I can't have a butcher at what I'm gonna fiddle. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can have a look. The seat I get under ain't as plush as the other one, see? So most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. Don't they see you trying to pickpocket them? Like you're in front of them. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over my head. And for that reason, you were able to push the... you were not able to push the cushion up and peek out. I see. Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. It feels too much like being thrown in the clink. Holy crap. But it's the only place to hide in them carriages, so it's Opson's choice. Why doesn't she just stick to picking people's pockets in the open then? I'd say there's some reason she's not letting on, judging from her demeanor. So anyways, I was being scared and I'd just stick it out under there, nothing else for it. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did. And the scream just came out.
Hold it!
When you say a loud bang, do you mean the noise of someone falling on the floor? Could have been, I suppose. I don't remember so well. Point is, it made me jump. And you let out a scream, involuntarily. That's right. And then I felt a cushion over me head get lighter all of a sudden. Presumably when the defendant got up in order to help the victim, yes? Or not. It could equally have been the moment the accused stood in order to stab his victim, could it not? Well, girl, Did you see what happened at that crucial moment? Yeah, I saw it. What? I pushed up the cushion and had a quick butcher's while I had the chance, didn't I? The Irishman was sitting up the bloke who had fallen on the floor, in the seat opposite. That matches Mr. McGilda's account, of course. But then the fellow turns around and looks right at me. I snuck back down. Oh, sorry, I sunk back down again, but it was too late by then. I should have never have risked looking. It's so hard to read. It's because of that the swell found me. He helped me get away, mind. Oh my goodness! How did the person who wrote this? It must have been kind of hard. At least I don't know. It's a lot of different accents to be writing. Cause this girl and then our leprechaun defendant, and then we've had other ones too, right? God. And when Mr. McGilda discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place. I was scared stiff. I was. He dragged me out and sat me down in the seat and all. Next to the victim, Mr. Mason. Yeah, the bloke had a knife in his guts. He was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit and he ended up falling onto me. Oh! And then you had bloody hands? How awful. Both me hands got covered in blood. Makes me feel sick as a dog. Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilda for a while. Is that correct? He asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and all that. Then I heard something from above. Someone screamed. Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume. Well, I didn't want no one seen my face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this here Irishman says to me, "Get back under the seat. I'll see that you can get away later." All 6 members of the jury had decided the defendant was innocent. For one brief shining moment, yes. It's clear that they are still very unsure. If we could just find some conclusive evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we could clinch the verdict we want. Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling. Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. Oh shit, do I have to present evidence? Alright. What do we have? Oh, I have to look at my evidence again. Holy crap, we don't have a lot. Okay, what does it say? What does it say? Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife whilst journeying on the omnibus, died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from trauma. He was still bleeding. Stabbed once in, okay. So far, nothing conflicting, I don't think. Knife is in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partly obscured by an old crooked hat. Leather gloves the defendant was wearing at the time of the incident. There's blood stain on the right glove. There was passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof. Large-ish knife that was found lodged in the oh my god, what do I even present? Among the defendant's list of debtors is Bruce Fairplay, who would have been due to pay his... We already presented that part. Oh, let me go back to... What is she saying? What is she saying? This is not as straightforward as the other times. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hooked up the horses, just like always. But it was right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for my troubles that night. Did anything get stolen that we've heard about? I don't think so. Buttons on her hat? do they match with the buttons on his shirt? Did you steal the buttons and put them on your cap? But he's only missing one button, not two. That would be funny if that was a thing. But it was right always the time. I just got nothing to show for it. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Oh, is it really pitch in there? Can we examine it? Let's open the door and go inside. There is blood on the floor. Did we examine that? Which matches up with the body falling on the floor. That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just... Well, this blood stain is so obvious, that's all. And yet, Van Zieks made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? Something is wrong with the bloodstain on the floor? Why is that? That makes the testimony of the body falling on the floor make sense, though. But why is that strange? Oh my god, no. My brain cells! Rub them together! That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victim's, obviously. Yes. And that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder? Well, it was after dark. And there's a lamp in here. So perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. The seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really. Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up on the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here. A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? Okay, that's a thought. The seat has a handle. This is a storage compartment, but there's nothing here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. You should get inside and see if you can fit in there, Runosuke. We need practical evidence. Get in there. Something's not right? What's not right? What's not right? This is the storage compartment, but there's nothing here. It's totally empty. Is that just because, like, everything was pulled out? Oh, shit. I want to look at the light. Ah. Oh, that's why I was so confused about the crystal towers. Because the crystal towers in this game. The crystal palace is in Final Fantasy IV. Oh, that's why I was so confused about the crystal towers. I was like, where's the crystal towers in this game? In Final Fantasy IV? No, it was in this game. Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then. Where did she put all the stuff? Is there a hidden compartment underneath? No, it's not letting me. I just don't know if I missed anything. I think these are the seats. Yeah. So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have such a wonderful view of London streets from up here. So people sit all the way up here on bitter cold nights with a cold rush. Just reviewing evidence because I don't know what to present. I don't know what's wrong with her testimony. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, there's a lamp on the enclosed cabin. I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. So this is a roof deck. Wonderful view, blah blah blah. What's weird about the blood stain on the floor? Fuck. Was that not there before? Was there no blood stain on the floor before? Did they just put that there? A large-ish knife. So it's a... Is that not blood? Is it one of her fancy, like... She has, like, these smoke bombs, so maybe she has something else. Finding a hiding place. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that, this swell found me. He helped me get away, mind. Fuck. Something's bothering me, but I just can't put my finger on it. Oh! Alright, I'm gonna press everything again. There's no penalty in pressing. They're also letting me switch. So maybe he's doing something? He's got his eyebrow raised. What's the point of spending a Joey to make a few bob? Four paying passengers. Usually when they let me do this, something's up, right? Or usually there's like an exclamation mark when something's up though. Did you guys see an exclamation mark? Brushes and buckets and whatnot in there. I always chuck all that out and cram in a corner somewhere. No one ever seems to bother much. Why don't waste of time? Got nothing to show.
Hold it!
Just checking him every time. Oh wait, I just noticed. It's got the little, the drawn version of her sprite here. It's so cute. That's when you come out of your hiding place. That's it. Only that night, he was sitting there and didn't move. I don't expect to lift the cushion and you've been sat on and find a child, do you? But you didn't lift it, right? So Miss Lestrade couldn't possibly be the culprit. Oh my god, what do I do? I'll tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Oh, wait, don't present anything! Press.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see out into the cabin at all? Not a jot. Most days I push the cushion, see a crack, kind of... whatever. I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher. I mean, I can't have a look, so I can have a look. The seat I got under isn't as plush as the other ones, so most of the time they sit opposite. But for some reason that night, this Irishman spent the whole journey right over my head. He has no reaction. For some reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek, I see. Holy crap, what'd I do? Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Oh! Wait! How come now wait, wow, you didn't do that before! What the fuck? Did I have to push everything and then come back? I would have noticed this. This would have been so obvious. I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink. You have something to say, sir?
Excuse me.
Excuse me? Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps. You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder, yes, as well. Yeah. I suppose it does, maybe. Miss Lestrade. Did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps? Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. But jeepers! There's no need to tell the whole world me foibles, you little scamp. What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue. Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? It's profoundly important, because I'm grasping at straws right now. My lord! I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is profoundly importantly to the point. I'm sure of it. Well, I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless... Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating the last statement, please. What? A supplement? What are you on about? Don't give me the fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do. Well, it won't work on me. That's right. Insult the judge, always a good move. I was straining my ears to work out what's going on, but all I could hear was snoring.
Hold it!
So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hid yourself? Not exactly, no. Sorry? Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I would just push the cushion up and have a butcher out to see what was what. But then, when I saw the swell getting on, it made me head down. I got me head down, so he didn't notice me. So, and Mr. McGilded sat in the seat under which you were hiding, correct? Yeah. What an... Would you add in an EVIT, eh? What a mug. Look at him. Look at him! So then, all I could do was listen. And I was waiting and to jump out there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But would you? Not likely. Even though we stopped there, here and there, I never heard the door open. I never heard the door open? So I just had to stay put and listen to... Holy crap. That's a lot of H's gone. And D's. So I just had to stay put and listen to him driving his pigs to market. and she's missing G's. Snoring like a dog, he was. Are there any conclusions I can draw from that, I wonder? It doesn't add up. Did you hear something or did you not hear something? Because you supposedly heard something fall and then you screamed, right? No. She said, yeah, I caught, fucking hell. I said, I caught it and then I immediately forgot. She said the door never opened. After he got on, but then how did the victim get on? Like when, at what time did the victim get on in then? Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts. At odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. So, Van Zieks realized it too. Counsel? I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party name at the very least. Wait, I need to present evidence? Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilded's snoring. But think, Ryunosuke, think. There's something she should have heard. Show a person, show a piece of evidence, forget it. I think we show the victim, right? Because she should have heard... She should have had several people. She should have heard the victim. She should have heard, like, these two. At least, like... I don't know, climb the ladder or something, right? I think we go with showing the victim. Because, at the very least, she said she didn't hear any... the door open. She should have heard the door open. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate. On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. Oh. Wow. Look at that bit! You got a very fiery nug! It told me it was ready? It's never ready, Ikaru. It's never ready! But you did get a nice, cute little fiery nug. As compensation. Compensation, Nuglet, okay? Present.
Take that!
Yes, I did it. Okay. As long as I don't say like a generic, what are you talking about? Then that means I've achieved success. Thrice-fired Mason? Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade cannot have failed to hear. Oh, that is a swoopy swoop of a point. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that camera movement? That sexy camera movement? That is the advantage of having a 3D Ace Attorney. That is the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct? Well, yeah, of course I have. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I? And the next person to board the omnibus was Mr. McGilded. That it was. Not a soul in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least, not in plain sight. So, you were, in all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at the time. Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the cracks under the seat cushion. He was on his own for sure. And, from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all? Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, weren't I? Waiting for this one to leave. In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? Oh. We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she said, or did not hear, is at odds with the facts. Ah. Yes, This petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zeeks! Yes. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement. He knew because, and he was okay with it because this basically works against us. If Miss Lestrade's statement is false, then our defendant is in a worse state. It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about? You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are convenient untruths, nothing more. He's dead right. How could the victim possibly not have boarded the omnibus? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this girl is a pickpocket. Let's not forget that. Oh. Grandma, no! She didn't even say anything. I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she had some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars. Neither can I. Mr. Foreman. I didn't want to judge the girl just because she had some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars. You're such a freaking follower, man. What a sheep, this Foreman. Is the maid gonna say something too? Is everybody gonna go guilty? Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty. Oof. Celebration wine, is it? This is some unending wine you have. Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend. To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. I think that wine is warm. Like the way you hold that goblet warms up the wine. Oh, maybe it's blood. I don't know. Maybe it's blood, and he likes his blood warm. Very understandable. Never mind. Ah! What are you playing at? Have you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Amadan? I have never heard of Amandan. Amadin? Define Amadin. Fool or an idiot. Is Irish? Irish for fool? Amadon? Amadon? Amadon. Amadon. Sure. I'm learning Irish today. This is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left. Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going... I know. If we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilded's innocence, the judge will rule that we'll have lost. I very much want to believe the words of one of the London's most respected gentlemen, but those of us in service No, we must accept hard truths.
Hold it!
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying? Counsel? I'm sorry, sir. Whatever do you mean? Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjudication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opened a single time, as testified by the witnesses in the stand. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. He was put there after he died? Huh? He was in there already? There's no fucking way. That's stupid. Was he on the floor dead? There was another entrance? But what? He was put there after he died? Huh? I mean, you would still need a fucking door. No! Don't tell me it dropped from the fucking ceiling. That's what the loud bang was. What? Choto. Wait a second. There's no way this... Oh my god, is there a latch for the ceiling? Was he dropped from the ceiling? You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, there's a lamp enclosed in the cabin, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see it quite clearly. That's not good for us. That's why the blood stain was in the center and not like off to the side. He was dropped from the fucking ceiling? Is that what we're going with? He was put there after he died? There's another entrance. Okay, so if he was dropped from the ceiling, I think there's two ways we can present this, right? He was put there after he died is one, or there was another entrance. The entrance is the ceiling. The skylight. I think we go for another entrance. He was put there after he died doesn't quite work, I think. No. It does work. Because if he was dropped from the ceiling, that would work. Let me check again. Let me check the omnibus again. Is there like maybe a missing button on the ceiling to show that he was there? Because the missing button is something, man. The missing button is somewhere. I have not found it. Let me look at it again. It has to be the ceiling. I'm gonna say there's another entrance. Because that's the and it's up here. Okay, I'm gonna say there's another entrance. If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wonder what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic. But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with the door. The other only has windows. Fixed windows, which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight. I say, the skylight?
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost had me lost for words. However, the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim. But do you have any shred of evidence to support your addle-brained theory? Both Mr. McGilded and Miss Lestrade said the same thing in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained. As the sound of the victim falling from his seat, having been assaulted with the dagger. Yes, it has, but would a man slipping from the seat on the floor would a man slipping from a seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
You're now suggesting the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin. That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but... Might the humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGilded? To be sure now, the two fellows who were sat on the roof that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But It seems to me, my lord, that 'tis not so much a case of them not saying, but... Aye. 'Tis a case of them being unable to say. What? I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would yous not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Oh my goodness, surely not. Those two chaps on the roof? You mean the ones that stuck the knife in the man were... Oh! It's like they're like, wait a fucking second. Just what are you insinuating here, you blitherer? What are you? What? Oh, that is an action. You rotter, he said. You rotter. What are you insinuating? This flaming outrage. You've got a mind to give you a blinker in a minute. He'll give you a shiner in a minute, he said, and so will I. Mr. Fairplay. You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman, a well-respected banker, and me, a very angry hatter, suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts, and it's a disgrace. It's scandalous. I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms. That's right. I protest too. About you, you rotten scoundrel. Order! Is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the interim at once. But this is beyond reason, my lord. It's outrageous. It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zix. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accused? I never intended to. It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. You proposed to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis cannot possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimidated their criminal guilt. Sorry, intimidated. Intimated? Is that what he said? wait. Intimated. What does that word come from? Intimate? To intimate something, I'm pretty sure is to like accuse them, right? Define intimate. No, intimate. Intimate. No. It has to be the past tense. Implying, basically. Yes, implying. Holy crap. I'm learning all new words every day. This is why I read. Intimated. I'm gonna go with that pronunciation. In our British court of law, that is what is termed as a baseless accusation. I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actual evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought. What are we wasting time for? Get them to testify! I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fellow. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another. If there is filth and rubbish in our midst, we must dispose of it at once. Testify! Testify! What is happening? Mr. Naruhodo? Can you hear the chants? Testify! Wow. It's a whole on. Wow, what have you done, Mr. Naruhodo? Seriously. The spectators in the public gallery are. They're in a complete frenzy. Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. My lord? You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony. In reference to the indictment, or indictment, brought by the defense. Yes, my lord. So shifty now. I didn't come here for this. There is no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward. Refuting the accusation. We were the only two people on that roof deck, dead or alive. I can swear that. If anything happened while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed? In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill a man. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it. This is such a funny action. This is like, horses. Like, you know, the horse, races that the banker was betting on and lost all his money on. I think it's even like horse pitter-patter that we hear right now. If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof? His hat is unimpressive. For a hatter? You know, maybe it has sentimental value. Both their hats. Oh. They have very gentle, wow, I can't. There is no word. Gentlementally hats. They have very proper hats, okay? I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine. Oh, you're gonna have hats? Are you're a hat wearer, Gamley? I could never. I do like hats, but I don't like hat hair, and hats give me headaches, so I'm sad that I cannot wear hats. I think hats are a wonderful fashion accessory that should be more popular, okay? We should bring back hats. Also, happy early birthday, Gamley. Wear a Fisher hat normally, and I have a fedora I wear with my suit. Ooh. By Fisher hat, do you mean like the bucket hats? That's what I wear for fishing. How either witnesses could have performed any malevolent act in this open rooftop deck? Yeah, bucket hat. Yeah. Bucket hats are getting are coming back in fashion, I think. I mean, bucket hats definitely were popular in the artist space, I've noticed. I see them in artist alleys and people putting designs on them. But I think more people are getting into bucket hats now. Yes, that's exactly it, Gamli. That's the 20-year fashion cycle. So I also had a bucket hat that I've been wearing for 20 years for fishing. And guess what, Gamli? They're back in fashion. That is the 20-year fashion cycle at work. Without the other noticing forthwith. That's right, you see? We're innocent, I tell you. Though logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another. What? Eh? According to investigations by the Scotland Yard. I fucking love his scroll. The two witnesses share no common dealings. So you stole your first one from your brother, and he stole it from his friend Brad. Ah, so it was originally Brad's hat. Did Brad ever get another hat? Or was he just like, he was like not wearing it, so it didn't matter? Ha! Well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. Refuting the accusation. We were the only two people on that roof deck. Dead or alive, I can swear to that.
Hold it!
I'm pressing everything! Pressing everything! So, at no time did the victim, Mr. Mason, climb up to join you on the roof deck. Girl problems. I understand. So you stole a hat and never spoke to them again. Or your brother stole a hat. And then you stole your brother's hat. That's alright. Absolutely not, Dickon. What's it? No question about it, he said. None at all. Oh, but yes, of course. I remember seeing them both. I saw the victim inside the enclosed cabin, talking with this man here. Is this true, Mr. McGilded? Dear me, my lord, at the risk of repeating myself, I boarded the omnibus alone and nodded off inside almost immediately. That's an outright lie. Without doubt you're engaged in... Let me stop you there, fellow, and ask, do you have any evidence at all? At all? Duh. It's all about evidence in the courts these days, so it is. You'd do well to remember that. I saw you. With my own eyes. This is going so well. And if anything were to happen while we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed?
Hold it!
Well, it was on the final run of the omnibus, at past 10 o'clock in the evening. It would certainly have been quite dark, perhaps too dark to see clearly. Isn't this some kind of lark? Is this some kind of joke, he said? Is this what this is? Or perhaps one or the other of you fell asleep briefly. Are you fair dinkum, sir? Are you serious, sir? That's what he said. It's impossible, I tell you. I'll give you the keys to the vault if you could fall asleep in the bitter cold. If you did manage it, your eyelids would freeze shut, and you'd never open them again. That's extreme. It was extreme, I tell you, and we had to put up with it because this man had locked the door. Any true gent would have unlocked it and let me in when I knocked. I'm dreadfully sorry about that, young fella. But you see, I was away with the fairies and I didn't hear you at all. That's a lie. I saw you through the glass and you were talking to someone. Now, 'twas a gold night, so it was. People do be seeing things that aren't real in the gold. 'Tis hardly surprising. Seeing things. I believe we've reached an impasse here in this particular point. Ah, you! Don't be taking it personally now, lad. If I'm a suspect in this case, then 'tis only fair that you and the other fiend are too. Open and free competition is what capitalist society is all about. This isn't a competition I would like to be involved in, really. In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
Hold it!
The purple suit guy has a nicer hat. I hope the purple suit guy is innocent because that's who we're defending. Does the good hat mean that he's innocent? So, you've never met a thrice-fired mason before. Oh, lumme. Loom? What the fuck is that word? I don't even know how to say it. I don't think that's a word. No, I need it with the double M's. Because apparently that's something. No, please do not correct me. It's an exclamation, a very dated British exclamation from the 19th century of which we are at. Sure, whatever. It's just an exclamation. How do I say it? Lummy? Lummy? What? Lummy? Weirdest reasons to choose something. Well, you know, sometimes when it comes to choosing people, it's you know when people say like trust your gut, sometimes it just works, you know? Of course, also like use logic and whatnot, but like if whatever. If it's the first choice and then you use logic, you know, just choose whatever. Anyways, this is a video game. We don't have to have that much logic, right? Oh, lemma. Or whatever. No, not once. Never. He's a weirdo, and weirdos tend to be better mental health professionals. Honestly, so true. Like, if you can embrace... It's basically being a weirdo is embracing, like, who you are and being comfortable with it, right? And then therefore, you're allowing yourself to also, like, accept it in other people. I agree with that point. Guy wears kilt. Very much comfortable with himself, and therefore would be comfortable with accepting other people. I think that's what I'm getting from your 2 points about your therapist. Probably good impression. He'd never met the man before, he said. Never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either. That's right, sir. That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir. No, I imagine not. You see, how many different ways can I put this? Neither of us had the remotest connection to the gentlemen who were inside the cabin. That's right. This is about motive, and we had none. You have something to say. Wait, look at this! Look at his face! His triangle mouth. It's so fun. It's pretty cute. You have something to say, Mr. McGilded?
Excuse me.
Excuse me? Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing for you? Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection. Is that right now, I wonder? What are you insinuating now? Mr. Fairplay. It has been too long, so it has. Eh? If I'm not very mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date. I beg your pardon? You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir. At a considerable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion. Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes off on another? And young Mr. First? Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about your head is one of your creations, is it? I'm just an apprentice, you understand? I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. That perfect fit, is it? Well, it's a very distinctive design, is it? Oh! You know, I was thinking that when he said, when he mentioned before, like, I've never met him, I have no connection. I was like, everybody wears hats. In our, like, everybody, every fucking person that has been on the stand has worn a hat. And this person's hat is especially weird. Is certainly distinctive, as Mr. McGilded said. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like the distinctive touch. Customers? Customers such as the thrice-fired Mason? There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence afore, my lord. Yes, you mean this? I can't help thinking that the poor fella's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh. That's one of my hats. Hehe. Aye, that it is. So it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours. Oh. The sort of customer, I wager, you could have had a wee quarrel over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to the victim, you see. I rest my case. You little weasel! She's better at this than I am. Gosh, Mr. McGilded has certainly been through in his research, hasn't he? So thorough in his research, hasn't he? Please, don't let me, little interruption, hold up the proceedings. Hat hunter? That was just an extra thing. That gave me an achievement. for finding out who made the hat. The thunderstorms that never happened. Sometimes I wonder where the alerts are. Sometimes the weather tells me that there's intense rain, but it's certainly not where I am. I like rain though. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
Hold it!
Are you quite certain about that? The skylight that was shut the entire time. I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute. He's going to lose his rag with you in a minute. That's what he said. Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see? It's shut fast now, just like it was on the night. So it is, of course. A fellow the size of Mr. Mason could likely break through it all. Still and all. What? Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand? Now you hold on here there a minute. The size of the thing means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we? Let's stop biting our cane, shall we? I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shocked myself with it, as it happens. This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First. Oh, I mean, but the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible. Everyone was looking daggers at me, sir. I went as red as root, I did. Are you expecting me to sentence you? Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be opened. I tried and tried when I was inside the cabin of shame. The lock is on the outside, my lord. Oh, she's smug. She knows. She fucking knows. This is getting, like, really... I feel like this is gonna be the end of the case. Like, everybody's objecting everybody else.
Excuse me.
We're finally getting to the details of how this all happened. Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade! It opens. Huh? The skylight. That's what we're talking about, right? All them skylights open, dead easy. More easily than you can load that weapon. That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, I... You can't do it from the inside, you mug. Oh. Look, a few weeks ago I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great haul, I mean. I had purses coming out me ears. Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be eulogizing on the subject of your criminal activities. Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, he got wise on me. All four of them surrounded me and I couldn't off the bus and lick it. So what I did was use the skylight. I opened the catch and jumped right through. What? Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. That's why you can't open them from the cabin. The skylight opens from the roof deck? Bailiff! Climb up on the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims. Yay! Animation. Open the thing. Yeah! Oh my hat. See? Order? So, it would appear that the street girl's statement is quite true. I don't believe it. The skylight opens. And from the roof deck. Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we we're looking for. Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate this for myself. Alright, let us investigate it for yourself. Ah, there's the proof. We should look through the skylight and see the blood stain! The skylight was fastened shut before, but now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Ta-da! Blood stain! Blood stain! Blood stain! You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed area, so I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see it quite clearly. We've already read that. What? We can't, like, see through to the inside? Oh. Oh, blood! Blood! Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo. Why someone like me? Ah! What is it? Look, just there. Look at this. That's without a question. It's blood. Why would there be bloodstains here? Surely, it can't be unrelated to the case, can it? There is a blood stain visible on the frame of the skylight when it's open. Yay! And then this weird blood stain on the floor. Okay. That's the proof we need. I can probably present it, but I'm gonna press because I love pressing the witnesses. I love pressing.
Hold it!
Proof. That's right. I demand to hear it. We came here to say what we saw. I tell you, not for this. But you can call us both wow, what the fuck is that word? You can call us both shissers? Like scissors? These are all old-timey words. No, that's not it. Shivers? No, not shivers. With a C. Plural. German. Australian slang. Swindlers. How do I say it? Oh my gosh. It's slang, so people, it's not, there's no diction. Oh no, I never learned how to read the dictionary. I don't know how to read the vowels. Which one's the long vowel and which one, what the fuck is that wiggly thing? Shy, sir? I think it's Scheisse. For it's German. Scheisse. Interesting. Brand us as criminals. You call us liars. That's what he means. You accuse us of doing it. As it stands at the moment. There is no hard evidence that incriminates yourselves, now is there? I believe we're in much of the same position as one another here. If I don't crack this case soon, he'll crack his teeth. I wonder if those two men were involved in some way. I couldn't say. I mean, I don't really know anything about them, do I? Although, by the same token, I don't really know anything about Mr. McGilded either. It's so hard to know what to believe here. I think we should try remembering that it's evidence alone that can truly determine the outcome of a trial. Evidence. No one can argue against decisive evidence, including the members of the jury. So, you're really saying that what we need now is to find a conclusive piece of evidence? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo, precisely. Thank you for that tip. It means that we need to present evidence. On this last thing that he says, where is my proof? I shall present my proof. You Scheiße.
Objection.
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts and the irrefutable proof. Remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us in this very courtroom. What? That's utter humbug. You cannot possibly have any evidence. We threw it all away. No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible. Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel? Yes, my lord. I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification in the matter, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves a victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. There it is.
Got it.
Got it. Oh my god, he has an English accent. I think everybody here is supposed to have an English accent of some sort. Even the Nipponese friends, because they should have learned English from someone who is English, like British English. Got it. By Jupiter, is that blood? Arg. This blood stain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open. What? And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my. And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime. No! Order! But the blood could have sprayed up there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin. and only found its way to that one particular spot in the skylight. Sure, that would be very convenient. And let us keep in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there is no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? 'Tis all but too plain, if you see. There, the aftermath, that shows the poor fellow dropped from a far height. Right there, so it is. What? No. But it can't be. It's all lies! My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we? I believe we can, yes, sir. It is clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom. So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they? I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages be sullied with blood. I won't tolerate it. Oh, I always knew that the nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing. On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Objection!
A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded. Oh? And what would you be referring to there now, Lord Van Zeeks? A bloodstain on the frame of the skylight. Such evidence is null and void. What? Why? For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's there for all to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigations of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-toothed comb. So I can state with absolute certainty, or surety. Wow, I've never heard of surety before. I've never heard anyone use surety. It doesn't sound like a real word. No such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began. But... Oh, are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that the stain of blood was... fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session... What? What a palaver. What the fuck is a palaver? Merriam-Webster. What the fuck is a palaver? A long parley, usually between persons of different cultures or levels of sophistication, or a conference or discussion, or idle talk, or a misleading or beguiling speech. Ah, probably that. Like parley. I must say, I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fella known for all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I'm well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very adept when it comes to avoiding getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case that you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts. Adapt the facts? What does that even mean? When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of the crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir. Tut-tut, Mr. Lord Van Zeeks. This will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? No. I think it's fair to say, 'tis all sounds like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, you say? But if yous will be cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus here has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone have possibly put a smear of blood in it without a word and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time that the court has been in session. Except for that time when smoke bombs were everywhere and everybody was evacuated. My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter in your own words. As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think it could have been possible. I want to know the truth, not just prove that you're innocent. As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility. Oh. Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel! Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit? I'm sure everyone remembers, still remembers clearly, the recess that we were forced to take. As a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face. Bailiff, do not let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. The courtroom was filled with smoke, and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke, and in all that chaos, good morning, Cishre. Oh my god, that was 2 spins! That was 2 spins! We only got 1 spin earlier. That was 2 intense spins! In all that chaos, good morning. It could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus. Like a figure skater. It was very majestic. Oh, a bedtime story, of course, Cishre. Are you wise? I thought we were getting to the end of this trial, but it seems that there is way more. If this is another twist and turn, I knew that blood was weird looking, and I thought there was no blood on the floor, but it had been like weeks since the last time I checked the omnibus, and the last week since the smoke bomb happened, so I wasn't sure. Mr. McGilded is so mad at us. What are you trying to pull, you rotten, feckless gouger? I've never heard of gouger. I'm learning so many words today. Will I actually remember them to use? No. Oh, like a fraud, a swindler, like a price gouger. I knew price gouging, but I didn't think it was the same word. Angry Willy Wonka? That's exactly what he is. But he's a leprechaun. He's very much a leprechaun. Very much a leprechaun man. A very angry leprechaun Willy Wonka, who is also a loan shark. Loan shark who's disguising his loan sharkness by becoming a philanthropist also. He's a lot of things. He's a lot of confusing things. And until we figure out how evil he is, or how much of a piece of shit he is, we're not going to get to the end of this trial. I don't think he killed the victim. I don't think so. Oh my god, what if he did and we're gonna lose this trial? But I certainly don't think he's a good person. Feckless gouger? You're supposed to be defending me. 'Twas a wicked plot. 'Twas a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier, as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies? Such as? To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have a smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zieks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Accordingly, I am afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is a result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt that there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things. What do you think? Sorry? About the omnibus. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus? I have an inkling. The blood on the floor. My lord. Yes, counsel. There's one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What? What in devil's name are you doing now? Or are you going to say now? If you dare betray me, you little maggot! Silence, Mr. McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what the truth is and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark that you claim to have appeared sometime during the trial?
Got it!
If we consider the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this bloodstain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good Lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether the evidence is genuine or whether it is unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there is at least a possibility that the evidence is fake. This trial is over. Mr. McGilded, I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it is all over now. But you're the defendant. Tis over, I tell you. What? Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. Tis all nonsense. Facts are what it counts. And the fact is that bloodstain is there now. Well, it's over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as it has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zieks. Well, my lord? I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of the individuals can't stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Lord Van Zieks, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue on this matter, I shall proceed with my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality? As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded will be found not guilty. Yes. Which would mean we've won. Is that really the right outcome here? Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now, with all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. The defense believes... Oh... Oh! Oh! Do we say he could be guilty? Because he fabricated evidence! We can't say for sure he's innocent, but I don't want to say that he's guilty. We don't... What the fuck do we have? I want to say that he's guilty because fuck him. Fuck the weird leprechaun man who yelled at me. How dare you? I'm gonna say you're guilty out of spite. We have the armband as proof. Yes, of course. This is Kazuma's armband, in fact. Our best friend's armband. Oh my god. Do we say he could be guilty? We have to, right? For justice. We have to for justice. I'm wondering if the game has the same achievement as Phoenix Wright, where you could have presented a attorney badge for an achievement. I'm pretty sure. Don't you present that as like not as evidence, but like to people when you like talk to them outside of the court? Yeah, presenting our badge for justice. I am here in this courtroom today to advocate for the defense of my client, Mr. McGilded. However, at this moment in time, I cannot in good conscience attest fully to the defendant's innocence. By the way, this is not how you defend. It does not fucking matter whether or not the defendant is innocent or guilty. You have to... The entire point of defense is giving the defendant a fighting chance. Not whether or not he's guilty or innocent. But this is a video game where we must fight for justice, okay? I understand in video game world... This is what I must do, is find the truth. Exactly, defend for plausible deniability, which we have done very successfully. Okay, we don't know who actually did it, but there is doubt. As long as there is doubt, we have done our job. But in this video game, we must fight for justice. Or we would not be an ace attorney. What are you saying, man? Oh, he's mad. Our leprechaun man is so mad right now. And look at these two on the side. They're like, "Oh, you really said that?" Yes, we must always find the culprit because Ace Attorney is not a courtroom game. It's a murder mystery. We're not a defense attorney. We are an inspector, basically. We are the detective. We're not a defense attorney. I love the expression of these two on the side though. They're just like, you guys can't see the one on this side really. Kind of, you kind of see it through the chat. But they're like, oh no, ooh. Without any question, there is no conclusive evidence to prove that the defendant is guilty. However, there is also no conclusive evidence to prove that he is innocent. Good gracious me! Oh, he is hopping mad, our Mr. McGilded. Order! This is unprecedented behavior, counsel. The defense lawyer calling the accused innocence in question? Are you out of sound mind? Or whatever. Oh, 'twas a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer. So it was. A grand decision. What? I must say, I didn't expect such a exciting spectacle in the end there. But still. Here, have this for your troubles. Your job here is done, fella. That's some fine work you've done. So you have. What do you mean? You're fucking fired. That's what it means, Ryunosuke. Tis just as a right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it afore. The trial cannot go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality. Oh, the slow zoom in. Oh, this is some villain laughing here. Is he actually? I really don't know what to make of all this. Are we gonna wait, like, in quotes, win this trial, but lose in terms of not knowing who actually did it? But then Mr. McGilded comes, like, back in a different trial, and we get to prove that he did the crime. Is Mr. McGilded going to be a reoccurring character? Or are we going to stuff some evidence in his face right now? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Was the evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake? His lordship will be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of promptly, as I said. The stinking rich are always guilty of something, you... Mark my words! I feel terribly ashamed that I ever doubted that lovely man who gave us that lovely park. Now that proceedings have unfolded in this way, I'm compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea. I thank you kindly, my lord. I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection.
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain on the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth. Lord Van Zeeks. my lord. The case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection!
But wait! When we were evacuating from the courtroom, Lord Van Zieks ordered the evidence to be secured. I'm afraid the prosecution cannot shun responsibility in this matter. That's so unfair. You missed everything, Luna! You missed the chaos! Yeah, I should have woke up. Well, good morning, Luna. I hope you had a wonderful nap. The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Oh, you want to go back to sleep? Well, have a very good night then, Luna. If you're interested in what happened in the game, I think we're about to let our defendant go as not guilty. Look, okay. The conflicting thing that's happening in this court right now is that we might have been defending the bad guy. That's what happened. Oh, you're so dead. No. We might have been defending the bad guy, Luna. That's the twist. But good luck on your errands, Luna. Ooh, look at that stream trick. You haven't never paid attention. Hey! Well, I'm glad you're here for a chat anyways. No, he's not a good person. Not a good person, Luna. I do still believe in myself, though. Thank you. Consequently, the jury will not be required to prefer judgment. What? Well, Lord Van Zieks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense. What do you mean to tell me this has been a grand waste of time? 'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law. Magnus McGilded. Good grief! You have more to say to me, have you? Just one thing. A warning. This is far from over. Well, something to be looking forward to then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded. So we won the trial, but we lost the battle. We lost the war. Wow, fireworks. Inside? Is that safe? And no one is happy about this. I can't believe it. This is an outrage. They should have examined the evidence more. What are you saying? The man's been cleared. He's innocent. With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end, with the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us. 18th February, 5:14 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechamber. That certainly was a long trial. Ah, yes, it was. Your first ever trial in foreign soil, and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance. My heartfelt congratulations. And to you, Miss Susato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened. Well, we didn't have enough time. But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that. The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection. Aye, that you did. Mr. McGilded. Ah, and that girl is with him too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks that they be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure yous must have seen it by now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I'd heard it was a sight to behold. It to be sure it was. And I've you to thank, I suppose. We're having an opportunity to see it. Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're straight talking fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray at the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Ah, 'tis water under the bridge. Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared. But nothing's resolved. There is only one thing that matters to me. Oh? Aye. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and obstinate deed. 'Tis grand, is it not? I suppose it is. Now, the fine fellows of Scotland Yard can take matters into hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have. After all, I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. Oh. Holy crap, you're so corrupt. That's not funny. So then, as we agree aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no. I couldn't possibly accept that much. Araby whist, you'll be humble, fella, are you? You're from the east? Well, if you insist. But have this still and all, you deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me into the courtroom. Into the courtroom? What is this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe. I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule. Or schedule, as they say in England, or pretend, wherever we are. Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself. They're going to examine it again? Now? Naturally. I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing my best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yous. I hope you'll be having a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain. And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too. Don't move! Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down? You're a grown-up. Sorry? And I hate all grown-ups. Ah, there you are. Where are we going? Wait, who the fuck is that? Wait, oh! Are you Watson? What's Herlock Sholmes' assistant called? She has the same, like, steampunk gear. Oh my god, there's hearts all over it, too. Naughty, naughty, running off like that? Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now? And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial of my experiment, smoke grenade launcher. Ha! Oh! Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. The inventor? Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? White, white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color. I thought so myself. Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all? Well, you took my eyes off for a moment whilst I was changing. I just took my eyes off for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted it with a telegraphic beacon. What's it? I have no idea what this girl is talking about. Anyways, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician. What? You mean... say sorry? You mean say sorry when you've done something wrong? Yeah, sorry, you must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before. An adult? I don't listen to no adults. Come along then. Follow me. Fine. Have it your way. Oh, good. You see, I knew you would want to do the right thing in the end. I'm fairly sure that's what she wants, is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours. We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. I'm so sorry for all the fuss. If the tech was just Herlock? I do wonder. Does he make his all of his things? Herlock Sholmes is not like any kind of detective. He's just a tech. She was a lively one. They do have the same, like, steampunky gear, so they have to be related, right? Well, do you perhaps think we ought to be on our way now? Yes, you're right. But where to? Oh! We haven't had a time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff. I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings, but at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck. Don't worry though, I have a plan. If worst comes to worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we can spend the night. Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park. I know it may be a little chilly this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through. I'm not so sure about that. I think midwinter London night... A midwinter London night may freeze a young person, solid just as easily as an elderly one. Oh dear, that doesn't sound agreeable. Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas could have paid for a lovely warm room, or mansion. And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of the first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of Bailey had warned, the case was far from over. Do we get a reprisal? Whoa!
What's going on?
Get the fire brigade! Water! Bring water, quick!
Wow, that's how you get rid of evidence?
I don't know, sir. By the time I got here, it was already engulfed.
No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating. No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there.
This can't be.
Who's in there? Take your bets! It's Mr. McGilded! Someone wanted revenge! Someone wanted him dead! He was gonna die either way. Either by being guilty or being burned. Oh my gosh, and... Oh... We'll have to wait for the new, the next episode in order to find out who was murdered. Tune in to the next episode. What? The Adventure of the Clouded Kokoro. Why Kokoro? Okay. Only 2 cases left in the first game. Oh my god. I'm going to be playing this game until like the end of this year. At the pace I'm going. Alright. I think I am going to actually leave us on that cliffhanger. Oh, how exciting. And we'll be off to doing a read. Yes? Yes, a bedtime story. Redeemed by Sishui. More murder mystery. Oh my good god. I got the book. I want to be done with this murder mystery already. Holy shit. As interesting as it was, oh man, I'm starting to feel like it's dragging because it's just so long. And the thing is, it only took a year. The thing about this book is that because it is basically part of a series, This is like, it's referencing all the other books from the previous series. It feels like this is the type of book where if you were a fan of the previous books, you would enjoy this book way more because there's like references and stuff like that from in this book. Magpie Murders. I didn't know that this was like part of a series when I bought it. This is my complaint about this book right now. All right, let us. I have to read short stories. Okay, no more long stories and bedtime stories. I'm sorry, you guys. No more long stories. No more 400-page stories, unless it's smut. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, I meant to switch over before I turned that off. Turn this. And then this. Oh, no. Don't turn off chat. There we go. Transition. Here we are. All right, everybody, tuck in. Just enjoy me reading, okay? I hope you at least enjoy me reading if you are not enjoying the story. Because honestly, I kind of am not, okay? Not anymore. If it was just the first half of this book, I enjoyed it more, but the second half, not as much. I don't want a second murder mystery in my murder mystery. I want to be done. I just want a straightforward whodunit. Fuck. Okay. Complaints aside, okay? Please relax. I'm telling you, I'm demanding you to relax while I read this. Do I have another cough drop actually? Oh god, I'm out. I'm fresh out of cough drops. So I'm just gonna be eating candy. Oh, this is not good for me. I don't know if munching on like so many cough drops was good for me either, to be honest. So much Ricola to be eating while I stream and read. I'm eating melon candy. Delicious. All right. Bedtime story. The road to Framlingham. The following Friday, I drove back to Suffolk for Alan Conway's funeral. Neither Charles nor I had been invited, and it was unclear who actually was making the arrangements. James Taylor, Claire Jenkins, or Sajid Khan. I'd been tipped off by my sister, who had read about it in the local newspaper, and emailed me with the time and place. She told me that the funeral was being conducted by the Reverend Tom Robison. Sure, tell me about it, Luna. I thought you were playing FF until I read the title. Oh my goodness, Luna. Once you finish doing your chores, I think you need another nap. She told me that the funeral was being conducted by the Reverend Tom Robison, vicar of the St. Michael's Church, and Charles and I decided to drive up together. We took my car. I was going to stop a little longer. Andreas had been staying with me all week, and he was annoyed that I wasn't going to be around at the weekend. You know, Luna, maybe before the nap, you were running on adrenaline, and then once you decided, like, your body decided, oh, hey, I can rest now, that's why you're tired. You clearly do not have enough sleep. But I needed time alone. The whole question of Crete was hanging over us, and although we hadn't discussed it again, I knew he was waiting for an answer that I wasn't yet ready to give. Anyway, I couldn't stop thinking about Alan's death. I was convinced that another few days in Framlingham would lead me both to the discovery of the missing chapters and, more broadly, the truth of what had happened at Abbey Grange. Oh. Wow, you're just in time for a bedtime story, Keita. I was sure that the two were related. Alan must have been killed because something in his book. I will lull you into a nap, Keita. Alan must have been killed because of something in his book. It might well have been that if I could find out who had killed Sir Magnus Pye, I'd known who had killed him, or vice versa. Alright. I will be expecting that, Luna. The funeral started at 3. Charles and I left London just after midday. And from the very start, I knew it was a mistake. We should have gone by train. The traffic was horrible, and Charles looked awkward at the low-slung seat of my MGB. I felt uneasy myself, and was wondering why until it dawned on me, just as we hit the M25, that the two of us had always had a face-to-face relationship. That is, I would meet him in his office, and he would be the one on the side of my desk, and I would be on the other. We would eat together, facing each other in restaurants. We were often on opposite sides of the conference table, but here we were unusually side by side. And I was simply less familiar with his profile. Being so near him was also peculiar. Of course, we'd been in taxis together and occasionally on trains, but somehow my little classic car brought us so much closer than I would have liked. I had never known how unhealthy his skin looked, how years of shaving had scraped the life out of his cheeks and neck. He was dressed in a dark suit with a formal shirt, and I was slightly fascinated by his Adam's apple, which seemed to be constrained and bulging over his black tie. He was going back to London on his own, and I rather wished I'd been a bit less forward with my invitation, and had allowed him to do the same both ways. Still, we chatted pleasantly enough once we'd left the worst of the traffic behind us. I was more relaxed by the time we hit the A12 and picked up speed. I mentioned how I met Matthew Prickard, which amused him, and that allowed me to ask him once again about his dinner at the Ivy Club, and in particular about the arguments concerning the title Magpie Murders. I didn't want him to feel that I was interrogating him, and I still wasn't sure why the last conversation meant so much to me. Charles was also puzzled by my interest. "I told you I didn't like the title," he said, simply. "I thought it was too similar to Midsummer Murders on TV. "You asked him to change it?" "Yes." "And he refused?" "That's right. He got quite angry about it." I reminded him of what Alan had said, the 4 words he had spoken just before the waiter had dropped the plates. "I'm not having thee." Did he know what Alan was about to say? "No, I can't remember. Susan, I have no idea. Did you know that he had thought up the title years ago? I didn't. How do you know? In fact, Matthew Prickard had overheard Alan telling him exactly that. I think he mentioned it to me once, I lied. We didn't talk about Alan much more after that. Neither of us was looking forward to the funeral. Well, of course, you never do, but in Alan's case, we were only going out of sense of obligation. Although I was interested to know who would be there. I'd actually called James Taylor that morning. We were going to have dinner later that evening at the Crown Hotel. I also wondered if Melissa Conway would show up. It had been several years since I'd met her, and after what Andreas had said, I was keen to see her again. The three of them together at Woodbridge School, where Atticus Pund had begun. We drove in silence for about 20 minutes, but then, after we had entered the country of Suffolk, a sign helpfully informed us that was what we'd done. Charles suddenly announced, "I'm thinking of stepping aside." I'm sorry? I would have stared at him, except that I was in the process of overtaking a monster 4-axle lorry, complete with tow bar trailer. Possibly on his way to Felixstowe. I've been meaning to talk to you for some time, Susan, before this business with Alan. I suppose that's the last nail in the coffin. If that's not horribly inappropriate expression, given the circumstances. But I'll be 65 soon, and Elaine has been on at me to slow down. Elaine, I may have mentioned, was his wife. I had only met her a couple of times, and I knew she had little interest in the publishing world. And then, of course, there's this new baby on the way. Becoming a grandfather certainly makes you think. It just might be the right time. How soon? I didn't know what to say. The idea of Cloverleaf Books without Charles Clover was unthinkable. He was as much a part of the place as the wooden paneling. Maybe next spring. He paused. I was wondering if you might like to take over. What? Me? As CEO? Why not? I'll stay as the chairman, so I'll have some involvement, but you'll take over the day-to-day running. You know the business as well as anyone, and let's face it, if I were to parachute someone in, I'm not sure you'd be happy working with them. He was right about that. I was hurtling through my 40s, and I was vaguely aware that the older I got, the more stuck in my ways I became. I suppose it's something that happens in publishing, where people often stay in the same job for a very long time. I wasn't good with new people. How could I do it? I knew about books, but I had no real interest in the rest of it. Employees, accountants, overheads, long-term strategy, the day-to-day running of a medium-sized business. At the same time, it occurred to me that this was my second job offer in less than a week. I could become CEO of Cloverleaf, or I could run a small hotel in Agios Nikolaos. It was quite a choice. Would I have complete autonomy? I asked. Yes, we'd come to some sort of financial agreement, but effectively it would be your company. He smiled. It changes your priorities, becoming a grandfather. Tell me you'll consider it. Of course I will, Charles. It's very kind of you to have such confidence in me. We stayed silent for the next 10 or 20 miles. I misjudged the amount of time I needed to get out of London, and it looked as if we were going to be late for the funeral. In fact, we would have been if Charles hadn't warned me to take a right, cutting round through Branston, and so missing the roadworks that had held me up in Earl Soham the last time I'd come round. That saved us a quarter of an hour, and we pulled into Framlingham comfortably at 10 to 3. I'd booked the same room at the Crown, so I was able to leave the MGB in their car park. They were already setting up the front lounge for drinks after the funeral, and we had just had enough time to snatch a coffee, then hurry out the front entrance and across the road. There was going to be a funeral. The first words of Magpie Murders. The irony wasn't lost on me as I joined the other mourners who were assembling around the open grave. The Church of St. Michael, the Archangel, or Archangel, to give it its full name, is really too large for a town in which it finds itself. But then, the whole of Suffolk is studded with monumental buildings, locked in combat with the surrounding landscape, as if each parish felt a need to bully its way into people's lives. It feels uncomfortable, not just penned in, but in the wrong place altogether. As you glance back through the cast iron gates, it's surprising to find yourself looking across the busy street to Mr. Chan's Chinese restaurant. There was something odd about the cemetery too. It's slightly raised up, so the dead bodies are actually buried above street level, and the grass is too green. Graves clustered together in irregular lines with so much space around them that there's no economy of scale. The cemetery is both too full and too empty at the same time, and yet this is where Ellen had chosen to be buried. I guess that he had selected this plot with some care. It was right in the middle, between two Irish yews. Nobody would be able to miss it as they made their way to the church. His closest neighbor had died almost a century before him, and the newly dug earth appeared as a fresh scar, as if it had no right to be there. The weather had changed during the course of the day. The sun had been shining when we left London, but now the sky was grey and there was a thin drizzle sweeping through the air. I understand why Alan had started Magpie Murders with a funeral. It had been a useful device, introducing all the main characters in a way that would allow him to consider them at leisure. I was able to do the same now. I was quite surprised how many of them I knew. First, there was James Taylor, wrapped in black designer raincoat, with his damp hair sticking to his neck, and looking for all the world as if he had just stepped out of a spy novel. He was doing his best to look somber and composed, but there was a smile about him that he could not control, not on his lips, but in his eyes, and the very way he stood. Zahid Khan was standing next to him, holding an umbrella. The two of them had arrived together, so James had inherited. He knew that Alan had failed to sign his most recent will, and Abbey Grange and everything else was his. That was interesting. James saw me and nodded, and I smiled back at him. I don't know why, but I was really glad for him, and it didn't even bother me. The thought that Alan might have died at his hand. Claire Jenkins was there. She was dressed in black and crying, really sobbing, with tears coursing down her cheeks, helped on their way by the rain. She was holding a handkerchief, but it must have been useless by now. A man stood next to her, awkwardly holding her arm with a gloved hand. I had not met him before, but could easily remember him when I saw him again. For a start, he was black, the only black person to come to the funeral. He also had an extraordinary physical presence, very well built, with solid arms and shoulders, a thick neck, intense eyes. I thought at first that he might be an ex-wrestler. He had that build, but then it occurred to me that he was more likely a policeman. Claire had told me that she worked for the Suffolk Constabulary. Was this the elusive Detective Superintendent Locke, whose inquiry had been parallel tracking my own? My eye settled on another man, who was standing on his own, with the church tower rising monstrously behind him, too big for a church that was too big for its own town. It was his Hunter Wellington boots, I noticed at first. They were brand new and bright orange, an odd choice for a funeral. I couldn't see much of his face. He was wearing a cloth cap and barber jacket turned up at the collar. As I watched him, his mobile phone rang, and instead of putting it on silent, he took the call, turning away for privacy. John White. I heard him give his name, but nothing else. Still, I knew who he was. This was Alan's neighbor, the hedge fund manager, that he'd fallen out with just before he died. Still waiting for service to begin, I searched through the crowd and found Missy Conway and her son standing next to the cemetery's war memorial. She was wearing a raincoat tucked so tightly around her that it appeared to be breaking her in half. Her hands were deep in her pockets, her hair concealed beneath a scarf. I might not have recognized her, but for her son, who must have been in his late teens now. He was the spitting image of his father, at least in Alan's later incarnation, uncomfortable in a dark suit that was a little too large for him. He was not happy to be here, by which I mean he was angry. He was staring at the grave with something like murder in his eyes. I hadn't seen Melissa for at least 6 years. She had come to the launch party of Atticus Punj Takes the Case, which had been held at the German embassy in London. An evening of champagne and miniature bratwursts. I was seeing Andreas occasionally by then, and because we had him in common, we were able to strike up a conversation of sorts. I remember her as being polite but disengaged. It can't be much fun being married to a writer, and she made it clear that she was only there because it was expected of her. She knew nobody in the room, and nobody had anything to say to her. It was a shame that the two of them had never met properly in Woodbridge School. I had no knowledge of her outside of her relation to Alan. She had the same blank look on her face now, even though it was a coffin rather than canapes that was being brought in. I wondered why she had come. The hearse had arrived. The coffin was carried forward. The vicar appeared, walking out of the church. This was the Reverend Tom Robinson, whose name had been mentioned in the newspaper. He was about 50 years old, and although I'd never seen him before, I knew him immediately. His tombstone face and his long, slightly unkempt hair. That was how Alan had described Robin Osborne in Magpie Murders. And even as I thought that, something else occurred to me. I had seen it as I entered the cemetery. His name written on the sign. It helped having the visual prompt. Robinson is an anagram of Osborne. It was another one of Alan's private jokes. James Taylor had been James Fraser. Claire was Clarissa. And, now that I thought about it, John White, the hedge fund manager, had been turned into Johnny Whitehead, the antique dealer and petty crook. This was a result of an argument about money. As far as I knew, Alan had never been a religious person, despite this very conventional funeral, and I had asked myself what his relationship with the vicar had been, and why he had chosen to celebrate it in his novel. Osborne had been number 3 on my list of suspects. Mary Blackiston had discovered some sort of secret left out on his desk. Could Robinson have been the reason to have a reason to murder Alan? He certainly looked the part of the vengeful killer with the grim, colorless features and his robes hanging forlornly off him in the rain. He described Alan as a popular writer. Those books had given pleasure to many millions of people around the world. It was as if Alan had been introduced on a Radio 4 panel rather than on his own funeral. Alan Conway may have left us too soon, and in tragic circumstances, but he will. I am sure, remain in the hearts of the minds of the literary community. Even ignoring the question of whether the literary community actually had a heart, I thought this was unlikely to be the case. It's my experience that dead authors are forgotten with remarkable speed. Even living authors find it hard to stay on the shelves. There are too many new books and too few shelves. Alan was one of our country's most celebrated mystery writers, he went on. He lived much of his life in Suffolk, and it was always his wish to be buried here. In Magpie Murders, there was something hidden in the funeral address that relates in some way to the murder. On the very last page of the typescript, when Pund was talking about the clues that would solve the crime, he specifically refers to the words spoken by the vicar. Unfortunately, Robinson's speech was almost deliberately bland and unrevealing. He didn't mention James or Melissa. There was nothing about friendship, generosity, humor, personal mannerisms, small kindnesses, special moments. All those things we actually miss when someone dies. If Alan had been a marble statue stolen from a park, the Reverend Tom Robinson might have cared as much. There was just one passage that stayed with me. It certainly struck me that it might be worth asking the vicar about it later. Very few people are now buried in the cemetery, he said, but Alan insisted. He had given a great deal of money to the church, which has allowed us to undertake much-needed restoration work in the clerestory windows and the main channel arch. In return, he demanded his resting place, and who was I to stand in his way? He smiled, as if trying to make light of what he had just said. All his life, Alan had a dominant personality, as I discovered at quite an early age. Certainly, I was not going to refuse him as his last wish. His contribution assures the future of St. Michael's, and it's only fitting that he should remain here, within the church grounds. This whole section of the speech had an edge to it. On one hand, Alan had been generous. He deserved to be allowed to lie here. But that wasn't the case, was it? Alan had demanded it. He had a dominant personality. And as I discovered at quite an early age, Alan and the vicar obviously had some sort of history. Was I really the only person who noticed the discordance in what was being said? I was going to ask Charles what he thought as soon as the service was over, but in fact, I never made it to the end. The rain was beginning to ease off, and Robinson had reached his closing remarks. Bizarrely, he had forgotten Alan altogether. He was talking about the history of Framlingham and, in particular, Thomas Howard, the 3rd Duke of Norfolk, whose tomb was inside the church. For a moment, my attention wandered, and that was when I noticed a mourner who must have arrived late. He was lingering over by the gate, watching the service from a distance, anxious to be on his way. Even as I examined him, with the vicar still speaking, he turned on his heels and walked out of the church street. I had not seen his face. He was wearing a black fedora hat. "Don't leave," I whispered to Charles. "I'll meet you at the hotel." It had taken Atticus Pund about 200 pages to discover the identity of the man who had attended Mary Blackiston's funeral. I couldn't wait that long. Nodding at the vicar and detaching myself from the crowd, I set off in pursuit. The Atticus Adventures. I caught up with the man in the fedora hat at the corner street of Church Street, just where it met Market Square. Now that he had escaped from the cemetery, He no longer seemed to be in such a hurry to get away. It helped that the drizzle had finally eased off and there were a few patches of bright sun illuminating the puddles. He was taking his time and I was able to catch my breath before I approached him. Some instinct made him turn, and he saw me. "Yes?" "I was at the funeral," I said. "So was I." I wondered. It was only then that it dawned on me that I had no earthly idea what I was going to say. It was all far too difficult to explain. I was investigating a murder which, as far as I knew, nobody else was aware had taken place. I was chasing after him only because of his choice of headgear, and the relevance of which was tangible, to say the least. I drew a breath. "My name is Susan Ryland," I said. "I was Alan's editor at Cloverleaf Books." Cloverleaf? He knew the name. "Yes, we've spoken a few times." "Have we?" "Not you. There's a woman there, Lucy Butler. Lucy was our rights manager. She had the office next to mine. I talked to her about Atticus Punt." Suddenly, I had a good idea who I was talking to, but I didn't need to ask. "I'm Mark Redmond," he said. Redmond? Charles and I had often talked about Redmond and his company, Red Herring Productions, during our weekly conferences. He was a TV and film producer, and it was he who optioned the rights to the Atticus Punt novels, which he was developing with the BBC. Lucy had visited him at his offices in Soho, and had reported back favorably. A young, enthusiastic staff, a shelf full of BAFTAs, phones ringing, dispatch riders in and out, a sense that this was a company that made things happen. As the name suggests, Red Herring specializes in murder mystery. Redmond had started his career as a runner on Bergerac, presumably running all over Jersey, which was where it was set, from where he'd moved on to another half-dozen shows before setting up on his own. Atticus would be his first independent production. From what I understood, the BBC was keen. He was actually someone I was very glad to meet. His future and mine were intertwined. A television series that would give the books a whole new life. There would be new covers, new publicity, a complete relaunch. We needed it more than ever, given our problem with Magpie murders. I still had Charles's offer to consider. If I was really going to take over the running of Cloverleaf Books, I would need a star author, and posthumously was good enough for me. Red Herring Productions might make it possible. He was about to leave for London, and he had a car and a driver waiting for him in the square. But I persuaded him to talk to me first, and we went into a little cafe opposite the hotel. We had less of a chance to be disturbed there. He had taken off the fedora to reveal a slicked back dark hair and narrow eyes. He was a handsome man, slim, expensively dressed. He had built his career in television, and there was something of a TV personality about him. I could imagine him presenting a program. It would be about lifestyle or maybe finance. I ordered 2 coffees, and we began to talk. "You left the funeral early," I said. "I wasn't sure why I came. If you want the truth, I felt a bit I felt I ought to be there, since I'll be working with him, but once I arrived, I decided it was a mistake. I didn't know anyone, and it was cold and wet. I just wanted to leave." "When did you last see him?" "Why do you want to know?" I shrugged as if it wasn't important. "I was just wondering. Alan's suicide has obviously come as a great shock to us, and we're trying to work out why he did it." "I saw him 2 weeks ago." "In London?" "No, actually. I went out to his home. It was a Saturday." "The day before Alan died." "Had he invited you?" I asked. Redmond laughed briefly. I wouldn't have driven a whole bloody way if he hadn't. He wanted to talk about the series, and he asked me to dinner. Knowing Alan, I thought it was best not to refuse. He'd been difficult enough already, and I didn't want to have any more rows. What sort of rows? He looked at me disdainfully. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that Alan was a real piece of work, he said. You say you were his editor. Don't tell me that he didn't give you the turnaround. I almost wish I had never heard of Atticus Pint. He was making life so bloody difficult for me. I could have murdered him myself. I'm so sorry. I had no idea what exactly was the problem. I could have him murdered. I could have murdered him myself. So he thinks it's murder? It was one thing after another. The coffees arrived and he stirred his, the spoons making endless circles as he went through the process of working with Alan Conway. Getting him to sign the option in the first place was hard enough. The amount of money he was asking, you'd think he was J.K. Bloody Rowling. And don't forget, this was risk money as far as I was concerned. At the time, I hadn't completed the deal with the BBC, and the whole thing could have gone west. But that was just the start of it. He wouldn't go away. He wanted to be an executive producer. Well, that's not so unusual, but he also insisted on adapting the book himself, even though he had no TV writing experience. And I can tell you, the BBC weren't all happy about that. He wanted casting approval. That was the biggest headache of all. No author ever gets casting approval. Consultancy, maybe, but that wasn't good enough. He had ridiculous ideas. Do you know who he wanted to play Atticus Pint? Ben Kingsley, I suggested. He stared at me. Did he tell you? No, but I knew he was a fan. Well, you're right. Unfortunately, it was out of the question. Kingsley would never take the part anyway. He's 71. Much too old. We argued about that. We argued about everything. I wanted to start with Night Comes Calling. It's much the best book in my view, but he wasn't having that either. He wouldn't explain why not. He just said he didn't want to do it. The option comes to an end. And quite soon, as I had to be careful what I said. Will you still go ahead? I asked, now that he's gone. Redmond visibly brightened. He put down his spoon and drank some of his coffee. I'll go ahead with it because he's gone. Can I be honest with you, Susan? I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but frankly, his departure is the best thing that could have happened. I've already spoken to James Taylor. He owns the rights now, and he seems pleasant enough. He's already agreed to give us another year, and by that time we should have the whole thing set up. We're hoping to make all 9 books. He didn't finish the last one. We can deal with that. It doesn't matter. They've made 104 episodes of Midsummer Murders, but the original author only wrote 7 books. And look at Sherlock. They're doing things that Conan Doyle never dreamed of. With a bit of luck, we'll do 12 seasons of Atticus Adventures. That's what we're gonna call it. I never much liked the name Pund. It sounds a bit too foreign, and you may not agree with me, but I think the umlaut in the U is really off-putting. But Atticus is good. It reminds me of To Kill a Mockingbird. Now, we can go ahead and make a decent writer. Go ahead and get a decent writer in, and that'll make my life a whole lot easier. Haven't the public got enough of murder? I said. You're joking. Inspector Morse, Taggart, Lewis Foyle's War, Endeavour, A Touch of Frost, Luther, and Inspector Linley Mysteries, Cracker, Broadchurch, and even bloody Maigret and Wallander. British TV would disappear into a dot on the screen without murder. They're even bumping people off the soap operas, and it's the same world over, you know. They say in America that the average child sees 8,000 murders before they leave elementary school. Makes you think, doesn't it? He finished the rest of his coffee, as if he was suddenly anxious to be on his way. So, What did Alan Conway want? I asked him. When you saw him 2 weeks ago. He shrugged. He complained about the lack of progress. He had no idea how the BBC works. It can take them weeks to answer the phone. The fact of the matter is that they didn't like his script. Of course, I hadn't told him that. We were trying to find someone else to take over. Did you talk about the option? Yes. He hesitated for a moment. The first time I had seen any flaw in the armor of his self-confidence. He told me that there was another production company he was talking to. It didn't matter that I had already invested thousands in the Atticus adventures. He was ready to start over again. So what happened? I asked. We had lunch at his house. It didn't take off to a great start. I was late. I got held up in some roadworks that had just started in Earl Soham. They were laying some pipes and he was in a bad mood. Anyways, we talked. I made my pitch. He promised to get back to me. I left about 3 in the afternoon and drove home. He glanced down at his empty cup. He was keen to be on his way. Thank you for the coffee. It's really very nice to meet you. As soon as we got the green light for production, I'll let you know. Mark Redmond walked out, leaving me to pay for the coffee. I could have murdered him myself. I didn't need to be a fan of Midsummer Murders to recognize a motive when I heard one. And it occurred to me that when it came to suspects, and the league of sheer bloody obviousness, Redmond had just put himself at the top of the list. Even so, there was one thing I wasn't expecting. Later that afternoon, when I signed it into the Crown, I flicked back a few pages in the guest registry. I was acting on a whim, but there it was, Mark Redmond's name. He had been booked into the hotel and stayed there 2 nights. When I asked the receptionist, she remembered him leaving after breakfast on Monday morning. He and his wife. He hadn't mentioned that she'd been there too. But that wasn't relevant. The fact was, he had actually been in Framlingham the time that Alan had died. In other words, he'd been lying. I could only think of one good reason why. But he's a red herring. Alright. I think this is a good place to stop. The next chapter is long. So we will say goodnight for tonight, alright? And hope that everyone dreams of murder. So much murder. Thank you for being here, Ikaru. And I hope you dream of murder. Murder and short stories, please. I hope whatever story you're writing, Ikaru, is short and easy to read. No, not that it has to be. I'm just joking. Write whatever you want. All right. Have a very, very lovely night, everyone. One time I'll try to convince you to read it for story time when it's done. Ooh, that would be fun. Maybe at least an excerpt, right? All right. Have a very, very good night, Ikaru, and have a very good night, Sishe. That's a sneepy kitty. So cute. All right. Good night.